Sonia, can you hear me?
Yes, Vice Mayor, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Hi, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Call to order, can you roll call, please?
Councilmember Luis Cabrera,
Present.
Councilmember Africa Luna Carrasco,
Present.
Councilmember Jose Ponce,
Present.
Councilmember Matias Rosales,
Present.
Councilmember Gloria Torres,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mario Buchanan Jr.,
Present.
Mayor Gerardo Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we all stand for the pledge of allegiance? Councilmember Torres, could you lead us to the pledge of allegiance, please?
Let us pray. Dear God Almighty, we're grateful for every blessing you have given us. We gather in this place and ask you to provide us with the wisdom and strength we need to make the appropriate decisions in any matter discussed today. I ask you to bless each of us and help us remain in line with what it is good and true, and may we speak with humility. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and go with the first proclamations. Proclamation for A, the Hispanic Heritage Month, September 15th, 2022 through October 15th, 2022.
Whereas the city of San Luis, Arizona recognizes the deep roots of Hispanic and Latino heritage within our local community, our great state of Arizona, and the United States of America. And whereas the Gadsden Purchase of 1854 brought territories in southern Arizona and southern New Mexico into the Union of the United States, lands that were already rich in Spanish language, Mexican and Native American cultures and ways, where the bells of Spanish missions rang loudly from California to Texas and even in modern eastern states of Florida and Georgia. Proof that the history of the United States grew not only north to south and east to west, but also grew north and east from the modern Southwest. And whereas the city of San Luis, Arizona was founded in 1930, directly due to the opening of its local port of entry, allowing travel and commerce between Mexico and the United States. The city of San Luis prides itself in having been a vital role in agriculture, commerce, and industry, a role which is filled today. And whereas the city of San Luis, Arizona has a Hispanic population of 98% and take pride in the bilingual nature, commitment to family, shared traditions and values. And whereas, in the words of Cesar Chavez, one of the city of San Luis's most iconic heroes, preservation of one's own culture does not require contempt of disrespect for other cultures. Now therefore be it resolved that Gerardo Sanchez, Mayor of the City of San Luis, does hereby proclaim September 15th, 2022 to October 15th, 2022 as Hispanic Heritage Month. And he would like to particularly recognize the Hispanic American heritage during the city's Founders Day celebration on September 24th, 2022, and encourages local residents to not only learn about their own rich history, culture, and traditions, but to also lovingly share them with the neighboring communities as well. Dated this 14th day of September, 2022.
Thank you, Sonia. We're going to go ahead and go with the 4B presentation by the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce on services offered to Yuma County businesses. Is Kimberly here? Yes. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council members, for inviting me here this evening. I do have a brief PowerPoint presentation. First of all, I just kind of wanted to introduce who we are again. I know we've met Mr. Mayor numerous times and the staff, and they've all been absolutely amazing, but I don't do it by myself. We do have Cheryl Hehe, who is not here this evening, and Diana Wise, who is not here this evening, but I did bring Ana Godina, who is in the audience this evening. And you'll be seeing more of her because she is who does all of our San Luis outreach and events. And I just wanted to also introduce our board of directors. I'm sure there are many names and faces that you recognize that are on our board. One of the things that you may notice is that Marcus Carney, the executive director of Visit Yuma, is also on our board, and I sit on his as well because we are working much more closely together than we had in years past. So a little bit about the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce. I do want to point out, it is county. Everyone, a lot of people, they say Yuma Chamber. We make it a point to say Yuma County because we have members all over the county. But we were formed in 1905 as the Yuma County Commercial Club. And it began with surveys for the Yuma project. Of course, like many things in this area, it began about water. So again, we're still talking about water all these years later. We were incorporated in 1945 as the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce. And the reason that we have the logos for GYEDC, Visit Yuma, and the Caballeros de Yuma up there is because we used to all be one entity. They were all under the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce. And as we grew, they split off. Our mission is very simple. It's to help Yuma County businesses prosper and grow. The end, very simple. But what that looks like for one business may look very different from one business to another business. For example, we've got businesses like YRMC and AWC who need something completely different than businesses like Rolls and Bowls and Prison Hill Brewery. So one other thing I do want to point out, we are funded by business. Virtually all of our funding comes from membership dues and our events and sponsorships. We do sometimes partner with other groups for special projects, and we do sometimes get grants, but as a 501c6, we are often not eligible for grants. But we are funded by business for business. Being funded by business means that we can put business interests first and don't have to rely on anyone else that says, well, I'm going to pull my funding from you if we have to go against someone outside of our businesses. So I'm going to briefly talk about our events because that's what everybody knows the chamber for. We're a lot more than that. I hope everybody recognizes we had a mixer at Rolls and Bowls not that long ago. So that, of course, is the patio at Rolls and Bowls. Our next member mixer, we have them monthly. They're always the fourth Wednesday of the month. The next one is the Holiday in Yuma. Good Morning Yuma is always the second Thursday of the month, bright and early, 6:30 in the morning. The next one is going to be at AWC, and the program is actually also going to be about AWC. And then coming up, one of our big events every year is our Mega Mixer and Community Expo. The Mega Mixer is always the night before the Community Expo. And the Community Expo it's at the Yuma Civic Center, and it's basically where businesses can have a booth and explain to the community what they do. But this year, because it's the weekend before Halloween, we have turned it into an entire trick or treat theme. So a safe place for kids to trick or treat. And as you can see, that's the floor map, and we're almost sold out. So it's very popular. And then because, you know, one of the best places to network, at least according to my husband, is the golf course. We also have a golf tournament. You know, you live with a golfer and you just hear about golf a lot. But even though that's what people know about the chamber, that really is just kind of the icing on the cake. That's how we fundraise. That's not really what we do. And so what we do, the number one reason businesses are members of the chamber is publicity and credibility. They want member recognition. They want to be in the expo. They want to be part of our relocation guide. In addition, I have a weekly radio show on 560 KBLU called Chamber Chatter. It's on every Wednesday morning. We also have a bi-monthly magazine in partnership with the Yuma Sun called Biz Magazine. And of course, we do ribbon cuttings. We also have a weekly e-newsletter. Many of you may get it already, where we talk about what's going on at the chamber as well as the community. And of course, my biggest piece of the puzzle is advocacy. During the spring months, during legislative season in Arizona, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with, I meet at least once a month with all of our state elected officials, as well as local ones. The mayor of San Luis is invited as well. And we, of course, have relationships with federal, state, and community leaders. So one of the things that takes up a lot of our time is, you're probably aware that there is no such thing pretty much as 411 anymore. And with the amount of snowbirds we have in Yuma County, they're looking for a trusted source of information. And so our phone rings, everything from I'm looking for someplace to repair my RV or the window in my trailer, to I've got family coming in from out of town, what hotels should they stay in, to we had a woman walk in saying, I want to know where the other KFC is. And it's like, there's 3. So we never know what that next phone call is going to bring. Probably like the phone calls you get at the city offices sometimes, but the chamber has become that trusted source of information, and a lot of people use the chamber to find businesses. One of our biggest things, of course, though, is member promotion. We print 7,000 copies of this business directory, and it goes to local RV parks and hotels. Visit Yuma distributes it via their visitor center. And we have a place on our website where people can request a relocation kit for free if they're relocating to Yuma County. And that is a full kit. It's not just the business directory. It is the Visit Yuma guide. It's information from GYDC. It's information from the cities. It's information from local businesses. It takes up a medium priority mailbox that we send everyone for free if they ask for it. And then, of course, this is also available electronically on our chamber website. And so, speaking of member promotion, I know Abraham won't care that I used him as my sample here. Every chamber member has a page on our website. So it's not just a matter of them being listed somewhere. They have a page. That's a basic page. If Abraham wanted to, he could go in there and put in photos. He could put in his menu. He can put in prices. It's his page to do with what he wants. And that's kind of important, because when you look to see his traffic from our website in the last 12 months has been over 13,000 views. So our website is very highly visited by people both within and outside of Yuma County. The reason that they go to the chamber is studies have shown that businesses who are members of their local chamber, they see a 49% increase in consumer favorability, a 73% increase in consumer awareness. As you can see, we do a lot of member promotion, a 68% increase in their local reputation, and there is an 80% increase in the likelihood that consumers will patronize the business in the future. So community partners, one of the biggest things, like I said, I spend my time on, and I know Anna does as well, is developing community partnerships, whether it be with government entities, certain local businesses. We truly want to be part of all of the communities within Yuma County. And so I know that most of you know we have an office here in San Luis in Aztec Plaza. We've moved it. It was 1 day a week when we started. We've been doing a lot of new things in San Luis and in South County. And so Anna is now out here 2 days a week instead of just 1, because 1 wasn't enough. In addition, we've spoken at the local Rotary. We were a sponsor of the South County Best Awards. And we're trying to do more and more. We're actually working with Regional Center for Border Health on the possibility of having a Good Morning Yuma here. We're talking to other businesses about having more mixers here, because we value our partnership with our San Luis businesses and want to be sure that they're not always having to drive to Yuma for everything, and that we're having events down here as well. And so, speaking of community partners, we do value our partnership that we've had with the city. Jenny Torres is back there. She's been absolutely amazing. We have a regional task force that goes over all of our possible events and ways that we're reaching out to the community here in San Luis. And Jenny is at those meetings. In addition, we invite all of the cities to present at our board meetings and stay for the other cities' presentations, so that we kind of become a hub of communication for everyone to talk back and forth. And Jenny is at those meetings as well, not only presenting for San Luis, but hearing from Somerton, Welton, the military bases, the county, and getting information that she can bring back to you as well. But one of the things that I really wanted to point out this evening is the city of San Luis is a chamber member too. And I'm sure you know that because I'm sure you had to approve it in the budget. But I brought that up because I wanted to be sure that you were aware that we're here to be a resource for you as well. I know that with my relationship with the mayor of Yuma, it's pretty common, probably about once a quarter, that somebody from his office calls me and says, hey, can I be on your radio show? Hey, can we put a flyer in your newsletter? Hey, can I do a soapbox at Good Morning Yuma? Hey, whatever he needs to do to reach the businesses. And we never say no. We would never say no to you either, of course. And so anytime you want to use us as a resource, please feel free. I'd love to have somebody from here on my radio show just to kind of discuss what's going on in San Luis. There's so many amazing things going on in this community. And I would love to be able to be a resource to help you get the word out about all the amazing things that you're doing. And it's not wanting to go to the next one. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you, whoever did that. And speaking of community partners, through a partnership with the Regional Center for Border Health, we have received cases and cases and cases of at-home COVID tests. A lot of businesses are still having their employees test for various reasons. And they have asked us to distribute those to local businesses. And we have been working with Jenny. We are going to be distributing 14 cases to businesses here in San Luis in the near future. And that is all I have for this evening, unless anybody has any questions.
I just want to comment, thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for being part of our community also. And thank you for making that extra effort and having an extra person, actually that person stay an extra day during the week. It really makes a difference.
It's needed. I mean, San Luis is growing so quickly and it's such an amazing community. We're happy and I hope it continues to grow.
It will. Thank you so much. Any
Thank
questions? Yeah.
Thanks for your presentation.
Thank you. Everyone have a pleasant evening.
You too. You take care. Bye-bye. We're going to go ahead with the item number 5, consent agenda. All matters considered routine by city council will be enacted by one motion. New discussion desired. That item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Minutes of regular council meeting held August 24th, 2022. Disbursements from August 16, 2022 to September 6, 2022 was $1,970,163.86. I want to take a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to go with item number 6A, discussion possible action on matters regarding a contract with James Davy and Associates and Company to provide engineering services for the downtown San Luis storm drainage project. Jenny Torres, Economic Development Manager. Jenny.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Back in 2020, at the end of 2020, we developed a downtown drainage master plan. The intent of that master plan was to really focus in trying to assist the drainage situation we have. Even though the flood control district has invested significant funding, it's still not meeting our current needs. There is currently a change in how that downtown's looking, is going from residential into commercial. So when those lots or residential lots are being converted into commercial, we are requiring on-site drainage. And if you take a look at that requirement, it reduces what they can do in the specific site because the lots are too small. So what we're trying to do overall is really address the drainage situation so that we are not have to require that for the businesses downtown. So in about a year ago, we went ahead, or the council went ahead and approved the designation of the redevelopment plan for the downtown. And what that does, it allows CDBG funding to go into this area. So what we're looking at is really trying to address the drainage situation in portions of the downtown. So what we're looking at is really applying for the state special project fund for a specific site. Sonia, would you mind putting up the map? So this is the first area that we're looking at. We want to apply for the funding and try to address at least a portion of the downtown in terms of the drainage. And what we need to do is pretty much design what we are requesting so that we can submit it to CDBG. And if we get the funding, then start the construction. So what we're asking is for the approval of the contract to James Davies and Associate in the amount of $60,225. Mr. Davy is an on-call is on the on-call engineering list per resolution 2161. Do you have any specific questions for me?
Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the contract with James Davy and Associates, Inc. in the amount of $60,225 for engineering services as presented.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries. We're gonna go with item number 6B, discussion of possible action on matters regarding contract with James Davy and Associates and Company to provide architect and engineering design services for the downtown San Luis Parks and parking project. Jenny Torres.
Okay, so if you really take a look at the downtown, we've done several plans, right?
Yeah.
We've done the drainage master plan, we did a park and parking lot master plan, and we're doing through the redevelopment plan. The entire focus is to really beautify and enhance our downtown. Back in 2018, the city council directed me to try to get acquisition of the federal land in the downtown. In order to do that, we submitted an application in 2019 to the Bureau of Reclamation, the Bureau of Land Management, but we had to develop a plan. So the plan that you see there is, oh, I'm so sorry. I don't think I put the entire plan there, but the entire plan includes park areas, and it includes a parking area through the transmission line where you see the agriculture people parking. That's the entire site. So we're looking at developing into a park for specific areas on Main Street and then do the parking lot. The size of the project is about 11 acres. It goes from 4th Street all the way to Mesa Street by where the post office is at. Originally, the engineer's cost estimate was $6.5 million. So you can see that this is going to take us several years in order to accomplish this, but I think this is the first start. And the first step, there it is. And the first step is to start designing this along with the Yuma County Water Users and the Bureau of Reclamation, so that once we complete the design, we can start looking for funding in terms of grants and possibly, get the city to start developing this project. And just to let you know, we did get a contract from the Bureau of Reclamation. It took me a few years, but I finally got it. We're just waiting for the execution of the contract by the Yuma County Water Users and the Bureau of Reclamation. But it took us a few years, but we got it now. And I think that's what we need to do to move forward to start working in enhancing our downtown.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions from council? Concerns? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the contract with James Davy and Associates Inc. in the amount of $266,795 for architectural and engineering design services as presented.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Jenny.
you.
We're going to go with item number 6C, discussion of possible action on all matters regarding authorized the purchase of annual ammunition for the City of San Luis Police Department using fiscal year 2023 budget funds.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. My name is Nigel Reynoso. I'm a lieutenant with the police department. Today, we're asking for approval of to use the fiscal year 2013 funds to purchase our annual ammunition. We're going to be utilizing $64,994.37 for the purchase. We go through San Diego Police Equipment, which is the vendor that we use, and they hold the state contract. It's as you guys know, ammunition is expensive, and it's right now it's taking a lot of time for us to get it. So we're still waiting for last year's ammunition. So we try to order it as soon as possible because it's taking a lot of time. So that's what we are requesting. Any questions for me? I'll be gladly to answer those.
I knew you guys were waiting for last year's shipment. So yeah, there's a delay everywhere. So, and sure enough, the prices of ammunition has gone up dramatically. Does anyone have any questions, concerns from council?
Just one quick question. I mean, how long do you last this ammo? 1 year, 6 months?
So right now, what we're trying to do is, we have a reserve ammunition to last for 2 years.
2 years?
But that, we have cut a lot on our training, just to maintain, but that's our goal, to have ammunition to have it in case of emergency and to last us for 2 years in case of a contingency.
Lieutenant Reynoso, I just caution, when we start cutting our training, that increases our liability. Okay, so.
Yes, it does.
So make sure that we do the proper training, especially in firearms, because all it takes is one lawsuit.
Correct.
Okay, I know we're trying to save money, but training is essential.
Yes.
Any more questions or concerns from council?
No, sir.
If not, I will now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the purchase of ammunition for the city of San Luis Police Department for a total of not to exceed 80,000 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. We're going to go with item number 6D, discussion of possible action on all matters regarding authorization to purchase 7 fully marked and equipped new 2023 Ford F-150 crew cabs 4x4 short bed pickup trucks using fiscal year 2022, 2023 capital projects project funds. Lieutenant?
Okay, so you guys, for everybody to be aware, currently, we have approximately 50% of our fleet. It's over 10 years, and from that percentage as well, it's 100,000 miles that they've been running. We don't have, as of right now, we don't have enough vehicles for every officer. So we're having officers to share vehicles. So there's been instances where some of the vehicles have been running for 24 hours for a total of five days straight. So we try to eliminate that as much as we can, but sometimes it's difficult, especially when we have people coming in, or we have to call in people for some type of event or contingency. So that's the reason we are asking for the purchase of 7 vehicles. Initially, we were trying to do 8 vehicles. The price went up, so we're trying to do 7 vehicles, 7 trucks, fully loaded and marked. We're asking for an additional 80,000. Initially, we had asked for 490,000. And so we're asking for 80,000 for a total of 570,000 to be able to purchase those 7 trucks. They're gonna be the Ford F-150 4x4. Again, they'll be fully equipped and marked. And in addition, we're also waiting for last year's vehicle, which is a total of 6. We just barely received word that they're being built, so we have the serial numbers, but we don't know, we don't have a date. So there's a lot of waiting.
That means 6 months when you get the serial number. So
At least.
getting close.
So we don't expect this vehicles to get here until probably
Next year.
coming into the next budget for
Right.
next year. So.
Yeah. No, 50%, yeah, it's time to replace them. So I have no questions. Any comments or concerns from council?
I'd just like to add that 50% of these is going down every year. I mean, when we started 10 years ago, I mean, we were 85% of old fleet. So
Yes.
with this and with the new cars when they arrive, that'll make a big impact to our fleet. So once we get those, and then these, little by little, we'll make a ding and get you guys fully loaded. So appreciate everything. So thank you.
Thank you. I want to a motion.
Well, I want, Mayor.
Oh.
Lieutenant, is it necessary, I mean, to buy pickups, why not get 3 pickups or 4 pickups and 3 sedans, or something like this?
So we have seen an increase on respond to desert areas near the border. And we don't have as many vehicles that are capable of going into those area. We have the Explorers, we have the Taurus, but obviously they're not 4x4. So we need better capabilities to go into those remote areas. So, and plus, or in addition to, or regular duties, when we work, Stone Garden, we're focusing near the border, so we have to go off-road, or not off-road, but we have to go near the border, which is all, it's mostly a desert area, so we need something that is gonna, we need 4x4s mainly, and then we can have better equipment inside the vehicle rather than the smaller vehicles where we don't have that much space to put our equipment, so.
Okay. No more questions?
Yeah, the city of Yuma is going to the F-150s also.
Yes, correct.
A lot of communities are going with the F-150s. Yeah. If there's no more questions, I'll now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the purchase of 7 new 2023 Ford F-150 Crew Cab 4x4 short box pickup trucks. Approve the marking and equipping of the vehicles for a total amount not to exceed $570,000 and approve budget transfer as presented.
second,
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Just a quick question, Mayor. How many vehicles did the police department count? How many did vehicles have?
How many vehicles do we currently have? Approximately 63 marked vehicles. Marked vehicles, 63.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to now going with item number 6E. I will now entertain a motion to go to public hearing.
So move.
second,
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
All those against? Motion carries. This is for the public hearing followed by discussion, possible action, on all matters regarding recommendation of a special events liquor license application to the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control to authorize the San Luis Frontera Rotary Club to sell alcohol during the 2022 Founder's Day celebration on Saturday, October 1st, 2022. Danny, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Angelica Roldan, Acting Director of Parks and Recreation Department. I have here from APS, Daniel Ortega. He is a representative of our Rotary Club here in San Luis. So he's going to explain to you a little bit more about these events are coming. We're getting ready for this.
This first, excuse me, Mayor, Council, the first event is the downtown event, is that correct? Or is this Founder's Day?
It's going to be
Founder's Day, and the Rotary Club would like to sell beer there. With all the proceeds we make, we give back to the communities, primarily to youth. This year, we're able to give 11 scholarships to local students to go to college.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions from council? Concerns? Did we get any letters or of objections?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, the city clerk's office did not receive any comments in favor of or against this application.
Thank you. This is open to the public. Any comments from the public or concerns from the public? If not, I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So move,
so
Mayor.
move, second,
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries. I will now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to recommend approval of the application to the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control as presented.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Second.
Aye.
aye,
All those against? Motion carries. I will now entertain a motion to open public hearing.
So move. Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. We're going to do a public hearing followed by discussion on possible action, all matters regarding recommendation of a special event liquor license application to the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control to authorize the San Luis Frontera Rotary Club to sell alcohol during the 2022 binational open market on Saturday, October 15th, 2022.
Again, Mayor, thank you again, Council, for giving us time to speak. The Rotary Club would like to sell alcohol beer at the downtown event, where it's a binational event. Vendors from both San Luis, Arizona, San Luis, Mexico will be selling. And I may say, if I can, your events are really fun here. I come from the other side of the state and always have a good time in San Luis.
Of course. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate it. Any questions from council? Concerns? Any questions or comments or concerns from the public? If not, I will now entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against?
Nay.
Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the approval of application to the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control as presented.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. We are now going to our third one. I just don't want to be blamed for not following procedures. I will now entertain a motion to open public hearing.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. Public hearing followed by discussion and possible action on regarding that is action in all matters regarding recommendation of special liquor license application to the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control to authorize the San Luis Frontera Rotary Club to sell beer during the 2022 Off-Road Expo on Saturday, October 22nd.
Once again, Mayor of San Luis is proud to represent the city in selling beer at the Off-Road Expo 2022. Again, all the money we raise goes back to the local community, primarily to students and young people.
I commend the Frontera Rotary Club. I really do. It really helps our kids. Thank you. Let's see here. Any questions, concerns from council? From the public? If not, I want to motion to close public hearing.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to recommend approval of the application to the Arizona Department of Liquor License and Control as presented also in this item.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
I
evening.
look forward to seeing you all at these
Of course.
events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like that shirt, Rotary and fun. There you go.
We're going to go ahead and go with item number 6H, public hearing followed by discussion and possible action on all matters regarding minor amendment case number 2022-0335 and a resolution number 2232, resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, amending the 2040 general plan to change the land use designation of 32 acres of land located on the southwest corner of 24th Street and alignment with 24th Avenue from commercial and medium density residential to high density residential. I will now entertain a motion to open public hearing.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Please. Done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mayor, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I've been here all day. I'm
It's okay.
tired. So Fernando Villegas, Principal Planner, I'm presenting minor amendment case 2022-0335. The applicant is requesting a land use change to allow a rezoning of 32 acres to R3. I have a presentation and the applicant wants to change the land use designation and then rezone the property to build a multifamily project in this location. The properties, we have two properties, they're located on the southwest corner of County 24th Street and the alignment of D&a-half. A little bit of history. Last year, the city council approved a mayor amendment that changed the land use designation to medium density residential, the entire yellow area. And however, the existing school site was not included as part of the mayor amendment, and the parcel remains with the land use designation of commercial. Like I said, well,
Sonia, can you open the presentation? Please?
yeah. Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, approval of this request will allow the applicant to request rezoning. And this slide, you can see the existing conditions of the property. It's undeveloped, and it's on light industrial. The applicant is proposing to relocate the school site to the northwest corner, moving the school away from the arterial and collector road. The school site is about 10 acres, and the rest of the acres will be developed with multifamily. The next slide, staff recommends approval of the minor amendment case. And this concludes the staff presentation. I don't know if the mayor or council or staff.
I have no questions. Anyone from council has questions, concerns? Anyone from the public has questions or concerns? If not, I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So move.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion.
I move to approve and adopt resolution number 2232.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries. We're going to go ahead and go with item number 6I, public hearing, followed by discussion of possible action on all matters regarding rezoning case number 2022-0336 and ordinance number 430, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of City of Arizona, amending the official zoning map of the city of San Luis by changing the zoning classification of 451.34 acres from community commercial to light industry to medium density residential, medium high density residential, and high density residential and community commercial located south of County 24th Street between Avenue E and Avenue D. I will now entertain a motion to open public hearing.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All is in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All is against? Motion carries. Mr. Fernando Villas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a very brief presentation. I know the applicant is here and they probably have additional information about the rezoning. It's a large rezoning case. It's 450 acres. And the applicant is requesting rezoning to build a community called Orquídea Park with medium and high density development, residential development, commercial development, 2 school sites, and 1 community park. Yeah, the slide here shows the parcels that are gonna get rezoned if approved. The applicant is proposing 32 acres to R3. We talked about the 32 acres as part of the minor amendment. About 117 acres to R2, it's medium density, and 271 acres to R16, single family dwellings. Also 31 acres of commercial, and the existing zoning on the entire area is light industrial with small areas commercial. There are some commercial right now. Next, we just have an aerial of the properties. It's vacant land. And you've seen this with the minor amendment case. This is a possible layout of the entire development. We have commercial in the southwest corner of County 24 and Avenue E. Multifamily with the relocation of the school site. Some residential, single family residential in the middle of the development, and then along Avenue D and Avenue E, we have multifamily and a medium density development. Additional information, the applicant prepared a traffic study for this project, and the improvements indicated on the traffic study will be done as part of the development. City Council approved a pre-annexation agreement for the area in 2011, and the applicant is to comply with the pre-annexation agreement. Staff is recommending, is recommending approval with the following conditions. The first condition, the owner applicant shall submit a preliminary plat in compliance with the City of San Luis subdivision regulations. The second condition is that any development of the property or portion thereof and/or the approval of any subdivision plat be conditioned upon the construction of all improvements indicated on the traffic study. And the last condition, the owner applicant shall comply with the pre-annexation agreement approved with resolution 936 and any future amendments. And the applicant is in agreement with all the conditions, and I think they have additional information and a presentation. I don't know if you, Mayor or Council, has any questions for staff.
Fernando, let's see here, they approve of the recommendations by staff? The conditions?
Yes, those are the conditions
Yeah,
on
and-
the slide.
And they were discussed with the developer?
Yes,
Okay.
and they're in agreement with the condition.
I have no concerns or questions. Anyone from council? If not, anyone from the public?
Mayor, there is one request, and it's from Buna George.
Mhm.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Buna George with the Greater Yuma Port Authority, bringing forth just some comments from the GYPA board meeting this last month. So the Greater Yuma Port Authority does not want to stand in the way of progress. As the organization that assisted in implementing the commercial port of entry and worked in conjunction with ADOT to establish Avenue E as a primary corridor for commercial traffic, we ask that the developer allocate the necessary right-of-ways running east and west on County 25th to allow for an alternative truck route for commercial traffic. Echoing Mr. Gimbit's comments dated July 11th, 2022 about this case and the expected traffic routes, quote, defeating the purpose of economic development. As a council, I ask you not hinder the trade routes, allow for an alternative, require the developer to provide the rights of way on County 25th to mirror Avenue E's original use. Meanwhile, GYPA, the City of San Luis, and YMPO will work with BLM and BOR to hopefully establish a roadway extension connecting County 25th to Ash Highway. Please keep into consideration the truck drivers, their families, their responsibilities to deliver fresh food that feed America. Thinking of the families traveling on Avenue E and prioritize safety. As an organization, we ask you to consider the ease and accessibility for commercial traffic flowing both north and southbound from this commercial port of entry. So we ask this requirement be put in writing and signed by the developer to ensure binding execution. So with that, thank you for their time and the ability to speak on behalf of the commercial traffic on Avenue E.
We have a question for you. Have you discussed, has the committee or group discussed this item with the developer?
I'm sorry?
Have you discussed this with the developer prior?
No, it's been known since they tried to do the larger rezone, that was something that we really wanted to conserve. To my understanding, there are some rights of way allocated on County 25th, but just in order, because we have to work with BOR and BLM, it would be one less hurdle per se, if they were in accordance with it. So, and again, not wanting to stand in the way of progress. We just want to make sure that the truck traffic is conserved.
Mhm. Thank you.
I do have another question, Ms. Buna, before you head out. So when we approved the major plan amendments, I know there was discussion between the developers as well as Mr. Jones, I believe he was also present. And they had came to like a consensus of we were going to work on trying to get a different route for the truck drivers. Has there been any communication between all parties involved? Because I know it wasn't only this particular owner who was affecting or who was in the way of the traffic for the commercial port of entry.
Correct. That was a conversation that occurred with majority of the truck users. And again, actually, these conversations probably occurred even before I had come on with the Port Authority. And the only alternative that we saw was if there was a strip developed from County 25th connecting Ash Highway. So in order for them to have accessibility over to the east side of town.
Thank you.
Does the developer have a comment, I would like to hear.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the San Luis City Council. Tom DeBose of DeBose Design Group, representing David Liu and Elizabeth Carpenter here this evening. First off, we want to thank you again for the action you took last year when we came in and made a bold step to liberate the continuation of residential growth for the city of San Luis and providing residential for the jobs that San Luis is also trying to bring in. And for your action here earlier on the prior item, allowing us to make that minor amendment. You know, it's been our goal from day one to make sure that this is a diverse community with housing opportunities for all of the citizens who seek and need housing. With that said, I think last year we discussed, and I think we were in agreement that a new truck route would need to be developed, and County 25th would be that corridor. Trying to listen and learn on the fly here. I'm not really sure that there's anything here that we're opposed to, because we saw that 25th would need to be widened and developed, and we're certainly willing to do that. We want to make sure that things are consistent with that pre-annexation agreement in regards to all the right of ways. We'll comply with that, because I think we're in tune with that. So with that, I don't know that we have any concerns or comments other than it would be nice to see that all in writing. But I think in general, from a broad brush point of view, you know, we understand and we're in agreement with that. I don't want to go on and talk a lot more unless you have specific questions.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Sonia?
No, Mayor, we don't have any more requests.
Any more questions, concerns from council? If not, I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So move.
So move. Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the reading of ordinance number 430 by title only.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? Motion carries.
Ordinance number 430, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, amending the official zoning map of the city of San Luis by changing the zoning classification of 451.34 acres from community commercial C-2 and light industrial L-1 to medium density residential R1-6, medium high density residential R-2, high density residential R-3, and community commercial C-2 located south of County 24th Street between Avenue E and Avenue D, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve and adopt ordinance number 430.
Second.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor. There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those against? Motion carries. We're going to go ahead and go with summary current events by mayor, city council members, and or city managers, Prince to ARS 38-431.02. Today I had the honor to be a guest at Allo Communications. That's the company that was selected to start the broadband expansion in Yuma County. It is a multi-million-dollar project that involves not only state funding, local funding, but also Allo has in the second part, which will include San Luis eventually, Allo Communications will invest their own money, their own capital in Yuma County also. So they saw what we needed, and they are from Nebraska. It's a company from Nebraska, and they're in the internet business, fiber optic business. And in the next 2 to 3 years, we should see a dynamic improvement in our broadband and reliability, speed, and affordability. Competition is good. We pay for top-rate internet services, which I believe we don't get. And not only is this company interested, but there's another company that's also interested to provide broadband, to increase our broadband, not only in the city, but also in the rural areas in Yuma County. which is going to make an impact how we see the changes ties that are occurring in regards to the internet and access. Yuma County will be in the forefront. No other community in Arizona will have the speeds, the reliability that the Yuma County and San Luis will have in the future. So in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see a vast improvement, the most state-of-the-art equipment in our whole nation in Yuma County. So they take pride in what they do, and they're going to use Yuma County as an example of what can be done with technology. So it's a game changer for everyone. So not only are we getting a port of entry, $267 million investment, but we're also getting the broadband needed for our schools, for our clinics, for our agriculture, and for our businesses. So it's something that needed to be done, and it takes a community. It's not just the city of San Luis, but it's also Yuma County as a whole, the city of Somerton, the city of San Luis, city of Welton. So we're all going to benefit from this. So it's very good news for everyone for the next 2 or 3 years, and we'll be set for the next 20, 30 years. So it's good. So it was a good discussion, and everyone was there, and I can't wait. So thank you. Anyone else? If not, we're going to go with call to the public. This is the time for the public to comment. Members of the city council may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda, therefore pursuant to ARS 38-431.01H. Action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to when present, and scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date.
Mayor, there are no requests at this moment.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
move, Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Have a good night. Buenas noches a todos. Have a good night. Thank you. So